the qualities it takes to transform, to bust through, to break out, to go deeper than, to penetrate the armour or soften the armour. There's no kind of fighting talk here. Most people I've encountered have tried the old and established way of fighting with themselves, fixing themselves, struggling with themselves, in the conscious, unconscious hope that fighting, struggling, arguing, doing battle with oneself is somehow going to reap rewards, only to realize that it doesn't. But so much energy is taken or given to the fight. There's not much energy left for the healing. On one hand, we have access to the vast, unlimited universe of energy. On the other hand, we're finite, form-based, carbon-based bodies, beings that rely on the rotation of energy. That's why without sleep, particularly without good sleep, we deplete really pretty quickly. And so with this finite amount of energy that we have, this need to replenish our energy systems through some kind of goodness, whether that's nourishing sleep, healthy diet, the right balance of vitamins and minerals, fresh air, sunshine, vitamin D, relaxation, exercise if necessary. All of these things that give us, at least on the level of form of the carbon-based experience, some energy. But at the same time, or instead of, or through neglect, through a different focus of energy, we spend all our time fighting with ourselves, doing battle with ourselves, arguing, resisting, like this, holding on, the clenched fist of living. It depletes energy. It depletes energy, and one thing that I've noticed with people, and I remember with myself, is depleting energy systems through negativity or struggle or arguing doesn't lead to healing. There has to be something else. And so in many ways we need to see that. I don't often talk about the physical body here in the sense of caring for it or caring for the organism, although I've got a history of transforming from not caring about the organism at all, in fact being on a path of, I would say, self-destruction, or certainly self-neglect, to then going on the long journey of being stricken down by illness because of that self-destruction, self-neglect, then, to have to go through the fire and the forest of chronic illness for 10, 15 years. It took me to the depths of being, and to come out of that as if renewed, certainly wounded to a certain extent, and sensitive, with a fragile immune system in many ways, but actually are also really quite robust. So I see that, it takes energy, and if all energy is going to the denial, or to the battle with self, or the pushing away of the shadow, the pushing away of the discomfort, the pushing away of the parts that we don't like, it takes a lot of energy and will sap a lot of energy. And that's why something needs to change. And caring for the organism is neither spiritual nor unspiritual. We've got a lot of ideas that, certainly in sort of the more radical, non-dual, that caring for the body is somehow unnecessary and a diminishment. Or why would you do that since the body doesn't exist? And then on the other hand, you've got this over-fixation, almost neurotic with the body, that's kind of almost picking at it in a way of trying to heal it. Neither of these are useful in many ways. But what's wrong with caring for the body? And by caring for it, I mean finding ways to nourish it, to love it, to facilitate a deeper sleep. If it needs detoxification, which it mostly does with people, then to see if there are gentle ways or more extreme ways, but usually gentle ways are the best ways of healing it, of supporting it, of nourishing it. Because the energy system that you are needs it and wants it. It's amazing how much energy is taken up in just struggling. So this video is really just about paying attention to the energy that we're using and where that energy is going. And to see if it's possible to kind of shift that, to change that, to transform that, to pay attention to that in whatever way. It's not a how-to. Long ago I gave up telling people how to look after their bodies, because ultimately we're going to follow some kind of inner momentum, kind of almost a karma or almost a fate, or guides our hand, because I know how difficult it is to deal with the body. But the body is a crazy storehouse of trapped energy, of emotional energy that longs to free flow. And if we can facilitate that free flow through both the things that we feed it and the things that we don't feed it, the nourishment we give it, then we're doing a great service to ourselves, because that energy transforms something, and then we can give energy change the relationship that we have. To change the relationship that we have to ourselves. This is a fundamental shift from energy depletion to releasing the energy that we're spending all our time trying to control or corral or fight or argue. To transform that by and by to a loving tenderness, to giving ourselves the nourishment that we so need, not just emotionally, even physically, even taking care of the organism. What is so very wrong with taking care of the organism? We seem to punish the organism either through neglect or through some kind of anger or fear. And I'm saying that that doesn't really work. Yes, we all live in these fragile, casings, this fragile skin and bones. Yes, it's all temporary. Yes, things go wrong. Yes, it's not easy. But to love that, to love the body, regardless. And yes, it has got pains and aches and illness and wounds and hurts and stories and grievances, but just to love it anyway. And that loving it anyway involves a certain amount of nourishment. Bless you.